Hello, I'm going to continue Genki 2, Chapter 1, on the grammar side, and I have a bit of a different setup. I am using my external microphone, and I have my camera set up a bit different, where the entire pages are, both pages are visible. So let's see how this goes. I'll try to not get the top of my head into the shot. But let me slide in my keyboard here so I can get in close and see. The print is a little small on this, but I think standing up and looking, everything seems to be aligned well. So starting with this first section of grammar is potential verbs. And potential verbs are commonly used and a bit difficult to get the pattern down. And once the pattern is down, it becomes natural speech. I'm not completely there yet. I understand it, but it's something that I need to practice over and over until I can get to a point where it feels more natural. And studying as much as you can, you don't get a natural speech out of studying. You get the natural speech out of doing and conversation. But first I need to get the sentence patterns down. So for part one, we use potential verb to say that someone can or has the ability to do something, or that something is possible. In this case, watashi wa nihongo ga hanasemasu. I can speak Japanese. It's the potentials for the verb, so hanasemasu is can speak. The next one is watashi wa oyogenai desu. The truth is, I cannot swim. So watashi is I. You'll see that pattern. So anytime you hear watashi, that means I. Oyogimasu means to swim, but oyogemasu means can swim. Nai makes it negative, so oyogenai means cannot do this thing, cannot swim. This gives a reason, means it's giving a reason. The truth is, I cannot swim. Watashi wa oyogenai desu. The next one is ame ga futta no de. Futta. Ame is rain, and furimasu means to fall. So ame ga futte no de. No de is because. Umi ni ikemasen deshita. Ikemasen deshita means could not go. It's the past tense, and ike means could not go. So ikemasen deshita. So ame ga futta no de umi ni ikemasen deshita. We could not go to the beach because it rained. Node is the equivalent of because. So, and then here it goes into the rules. These were just examples, but we make potential verbs using the rules listed below. So there's different types of verbs in Japanese. There's the ru verbs, the u verbs, and the irregular verbs. So your basic ru verbs are easy to conjugate, but the u verbs it's called a godan pattern, or a pattern of 5 different endings. So you drop the final u and add edu. So iku becomes ikeru. So the u sound, ku, becomes ke. So iku becomes ikeru. Hanasu becomes hanaseru. So you can see this pattern here. I apologize, I skipped here. For the ru verb, miru just becomes mirareru. So ru verbs, you add an arareru at the end, right here. U verbs is when you drop the u and add edu. So instead of rareru, it's just edu. So going down here, we have matsu becomes Manatteru. Manatsu. Hanatsu. Oh, that's hanasu. Sorry, matsu. Yeah, matteru. See, my eyes are playing tricks on me and I made a mistake. But yeah, matsu becomes matteru, to wait. The next one is shinu, to die. Shineru. Next one is yomu, to read. Yomeru. Then this one here is skuru, becomes skureru. Then oyogu, which is to swim, like mentioned earlier, becomes oyogeru. Next one is asobu, and it's asoberu. And then kau becomes kaeru. If you notice, it just ends in u, so the u becomes e. So kau becomes kaeru. And then the irregular verbs, they don't follow the pattern like you would expect. So kuru, to come, becomes korareru. And suru, to do, becomes dekiru, can do. To do becomes can do. Kuru, to come, becomes korareru, to be able to come somewhere. Now you can think of the u verb conjugation in terms of a hiragana table. Hiragana being, as I mentioned in an earlier video, is the writing script, kind of like the alphabet. So you have the table here, if you can see this on the camera. You have iki, you have e, okay, sorry, e, so it's part of iku. Hana, for hanasu, to speak. So this is basically the very first syllables of the kanji that forms the word. So for e, we have ika nai, to become negative. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, to go. So this is to go. Ikanai would mean cannot go. This one here is ikimasu, means to go. The affirmative is iku. Okay, that's dictionary form, that's basic form, iku, to go. And then potential is what we're talking about, right? It's ikeru. And as we go down, we have hana for talking. So hana sa nai, not talk. Hanashimasu, to talk. Hanasu, dictionary form, also mean to talk. And then hanaseru, it means able to talk. That's the potential. So moving over here, we have this phrase, or this paragraph. The potential verbs for ru verbs are no longer than those for u verbs. Compare mirareru, okay, for miru, and noreru for noru. There actually are shorter alternating potential verbs for ru verbs. And the irregular verb kuru, which uses the subject reru instead of rareru. These ra-less forms were once considered substandard, like kind of slang a bit, but are now used without hesitation by most speakers. So, with and without ra. So we have deru, to exit. The potential form, the proper way, is derareru, but the ra-less potential form, which is more colloquial and common now, is deru, dereru, dereru, so can exit. Next one we have miru, to see. Mirareru, to be able to see. And mireru, to be able to see. And then for the irregular verbs, we have kuru, to come. Korareru, but the shortened version is koreru. So these things I have to commit to memory. I'll but I'll forget them if I don't practice it for a while, but it will come back to me. Potential verbs themselves conjugate as regular ru verbs. The table below summarizes the conjugation pattern of potential verbs. I'll tell you, grammar can be fairly boring, but it's useful. The conjugation of potential verbs. Okay, kakeru. Kakeru is to be able to write. So the short forms and the long forms, they have the affirmative, the positive, and the negative form. So present tense is kakeru, to be able to write. Kakenai, to not be able to write. And then the long form, which is the polite form, is kakemasu and kakemasen for negative. Past is kaketa for affirmative, so was able to write. Kakenakatta, was not able to write, past tense. Long form is kakemashita, polite way to say was able to write. And then the negative long form is kakemasen deshita. And then the te form is kakete. So te forms are used in all different ways to make something present tense or to give a command like an imperative form. Those verbs that take the particle o, that's wo, can take either wo or ga when they are turned into the potential, as in the first sentence above. Dekiru, the potential counterpart of the verb suru, is somewhat special and takes ga almost all the time. All particles other than wo remain the same when the verb is turned into the potential. So next is particles in potential sentences. Verbs with wo. So we have kanji o yomu. So to read kanji. Kanji ga yomeru, to be able to read kanji. Or kanji o yomeru, also to be able to read kanji. It's saying both ways are okay. You can use either particle. Next we have suru, which is to do, and dekiru, which means to be able to do. So we have shigoto, which is work. Shigoto o suru, to work. Shigoto ga dekiru means to be able to work, but you can also say shigoto o dekiru, but apparently that's a less common way to say. Next we have verbs with particles other than wo. So yama ni noboru, which means to climb the mountain. Yama ni noboreru, which means to be able to climb the mountain. And up here, where we were talking about this without ra, it says that ra-less forms are still not sanctioned by grammar school or school grammar. Grammar and spelling checker apps suggest rewrites for these ra-less apps or ra-less forms. So what it's saying is this is probably more common in speech or texting or something like that. Okay, so continuing on, nearing the end of this, you can also express the idea of can do using a more complex construction, verb dictionary form. So it's saying plus koto ga dekiru. Koto is means thing. So it's saying to be able to do this thing. So, Meri-san wa gitaa o hiku koto ga dekimasu. Which is a long way to say Mary can play the guitar. Meri-san wa gitaa o hiku koto ga dekimasu. Compare that to gita ga dekimasu. Gita ga hikemasu. Sorry. Gite ga hikemasu. Hike means to pluck strings. So you pluck strings on a guitar, so that's the verb that they use. They actually don't say play, they say to pluck. So the next one is kono apato de wa inu o, let's see, kao koto ga dekimasen. So kao is to have a pet. Compare that to inu ga kaemasen, which means you cannot have dogs in this apartment. Okay, so we will continue with part 2 here. And it starts out, as we learned in lesson 9, to give the reason for something, we use the conjunction kara, meaning because. So here it says, Nihongo wa omoshiroi kara. Omoshiroi means interesting. So, Nihongo wa omoshiroi kara, Nihongo no jugyo ga daisuki desu. Jugyo is class. So, Nihongo no jugyo is Japanese class. So, I really like my Japanese class because Japanese is interesting. This is true. So one more time. Nihongo wa moshiroi kara, Nihongo no jugyo wa, Nihongo no jugyo ga daisuki desu. When you want to mention not just one, but 2 or more reasons, you can use shi in place of kara. Shi usually follows the predicate in the short form, and there's a subscript there. So, it's saying reason 1, shi, reason 2, shi, and then situation, period. In Japanese, the period is a circle instead of a dot. So, Nihongo wa omoshiroi shi, sensei wa ii shi, watashi wa Nihongo no jugyo ga daisuki desu. So, listen, multiple reasons. So, we know the first one, Nihongo wa omoshiroi shi. Omoshiroi means Japanese is interesting. Shi is because. Sensei, teacher. I means good, so sensei wa ii shi. And then watashi wa, watashi meaning I. Watashi wa Nihongo no jugyo ga daisuki desu. So, altogether, Nihongo wa omoshiroi shi, sensei wa ii shi, watashi wa Nihongo no jugyo ga daisuki desu. I really like my Japanese class because Japanese is interesting and our teacher is good. So, next we have a question and answer, or 2 parts, person A, person B. Kuni ni kaeritai desu ka? Do you want to go back home? Person 2 says, Iie, Nihon no seikatsu wa tanoshii shi, ii tomodachi ga, ii tomodachi ga iru shi, kaeritaku nai desu. So he's saying, no, life here in Japan is good, and I have good friends here, so I don't want to go back to my country. So this says, do you want to go back home? But kuni means country, so it's actually saying, do you want to go back to your country? So one more time, person A says, Kuni ni kaeritai desu ka? Person B says, Iie, Nihon no seikatsu wa tanoshii shi, ii tomodachi ga iru shi, kaeritaku nai desu. I don't want to go back. When you use just one shi clause, you imply that it is not the only reason for the situation. And think about like that when you're listing things off and they kind of trail off and say, you can say, etc., etc. Kind of the same thing, I think. So in this case, it's bukka ga yasui shi, kono machi no seikatsu wa raku desu. Raku. Okay. That's kind of a new one for me, but it's saying, I guess raku means easygoing. So bukka is the price of consumer goods, I believe. But they're just saying things. So bukka ga yasui. Yasui means cheap or inexpensive. So bukka ga yasui shi, kono machi no seikatsu wa raku desu. Yeah, I think raku means easygoing. I'll have to look that up. But just by context, that's kind of where I picked check that out. So continuing on, it says, you can also add the she clauses in a separate sentence, providing reasons for the situation just mentioned. So in this case, and the text is a little difficult for me to read here, but Yamashita sensei wa sensei desu. Yamashita sensei wa ii sensei desu. It says, osieru to teach something. So, 教えるのが上手らしい。上手らしい。親切らしい。Okay. So this one's a little tricky for me, so I need to pay attention to this. Yamashita sensei wa ii sensei desu. 教えるのが上手らしい. And then shinsetsu rashi. So shinsetsu is kind, jozu is skillful, and oshieru is able to teach. So it's saying, Professor Yamashita is a great teacher. He is good at teaching and he is kind. So one more time, or moichido, which means one more time. Yamashita sensei wa ii sensei desu. 教えるのが上手らしい、親切らしい. And it just ends it there. So it's just listing separate reasons. Note that you find da in the present tense with na adjectives and nouns, but not with the e adjective. Okay. 上手らしい, 親切らしい, those are not adjectives. And so they use da there. Interesting, okay. So e adjectives, 面白いし. It goes straight into using she versus da she. That's what that means. So x 面白いらしい is not right. So the x means wrong. 面白いらしい, you don't say that. You say 面白いし. But with a na adjective, you would say 好きらしい, not 好きし. Yeah, that sounds weird, 好きし, because 好き, to like something, is a na adjective. And then noun plus des is, for instance, that is 学生らしい. 学生 is student. You wouldn't say 学生し, so that's a noun. So 学生だし, because nouns end in des or da. So that's the end of part 2. And I think that this is a fairly long video. Looking ahead, we have そうです, which is fun to say. That's a really good sentence pattern to pick up. Number 4 would be てみる, which is to, I believe it's to try something. Yeah, I will take a look. Nara. So we're going towards the end here, frequencies. And then we'll have some practices. So I'm going to do all those in the next session coming up. So we finished part 1 and part 2. Part 1 was quite long compared to the other ones, but yeah, there's a lot to cover in that one. So everyone, next video we'll continue on and try to increase the length of these each time. I mean, I do a lot of study sessions on my own, but to make these into videos are quite helpful. Reading out loud, it does help with some memory retention on my side. So have a good evening and day or night, wherever you are.